Hi, Allen.
Hi.
It was great pleasure for me to work with you on your new piece, and I would like you to tell us a few words about you, about your composition you started to write during the masterclass.
Sure. Yeah, happy to. So I'm Allan Chen. I'm a composer from South Africa, which is where I'm based right now. And the piece I started to work on with you during these masterclasses is for two saxophones, a piano, and two cellos. Um, and currently, it's not titled at the moment because I don't know if I want to make a direct reference to the source material. But the piece is loosely based on Yuval Noah Harari's book Homo Deus, specifically his analogy of human history as a single data processing system. So yeah, that's what I've been working on.
Oh, fantastic. I think it's a very, very interesting material. And generally, could you say us what is the main artistic idea and the special point of view in this piece?
Um, so I think, with all of my pieces, I'm very interested in exploring three very specific things. So sonorities, especially as it relates to color and timbre, gestures, and then sort of combining those to really play with our sense of pacing as a listener of that kind of music. So a lot of my music recently has been focused on those ideas, and this piece is no different in that respect. I think what I'm trying to do with it is revitalize some of the ideas that I've had in previous pieces and experiment with sort of newer sounds. As far as that artistic part of it, it's not particularly important. It's important to me as the composer because that's what I like to focus on, but it's not important in terms of like how you hear it. The new thing that I think I tried out with this piece, which was interesting for me, was just taking source material and using it to inform the material and the structure of the piece. Because previously, I'd mostly kind of come up with all of the material and the structure quite intuitively, and I wanted to try something different this time. So yeah, those I think are my main focuses. Other than obviously the narrative of the analogy that's in the source material, but that really isn't important as far as the listener is concerned. It's just for me in terms of composing the piece. So
Oh, very, very interesting. And in our meetings, in our discussions, on one hand, we focused on small technical details, and on the other hand, we spoke generally about aesthetics, about form, about possibilities to develop a musical form and just inspiration and such things. And I would like to ask you, what was more interesting or more helpful for you? Our discussions about just instrumentation details, or discussions and conversation about generally thing like inspiration or
sure.
aesthetic.
Well, it was quite interesting because when we started, and I took you through my whole sketch process, it became evident that we agree on a lot of things in terms of how we formalize a piece, how we think of a piece, how we come up with material, and how attached we are to that material. And so I think it made the conversations quite easy when we were able to relate on that respect. There were definitely certain things that you helped me kind of realize some more fresh ideas, some things that I wouldn't have realized or been able to see without sort of consulting with you on the pieces. Certain things like specific colors in the cello through specific techniques. There was also one thing that was really helpful as well. If you look at the sketch, within the micro gestures and the shape that plays throughout the piece, it was kind of very repetitive in the sense of like growing and then dropping and then growing and then dropping. And you introduce this idea of, energy states, and especially with a piece like this, where it's about phases and how we get to the next phase. we talked about, staying within an energy state and how holding on something could really emphasize the burst into a new state. And I think that was really helpful just in terms of creating a dynamic shape, for the piece. So generally, obviously, the aesthetical and the technical things were really, really helpful, but just in terms of those very specific hands-on ideas. And I think that was easier for you to see when you were able to see the whole visualization of the piece in the sketch that I provided you,
I was very happy to see the sketch of the whole piece, because in this way we could speak about the whole piece and about the connection between the beginning of the piece and the next sections. So it was very interesting, and I really enjoyed working with you together, and I'm very interested how the piece will develop. And please, when you are ready, send to me the score. And yes, I hope we stay in touch in the future. And yes, I was happy to learn you in our conversations.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been so wonderful to work with you, and it's been so great to get your advice on this piece. And it's been really fun to kind of work through the different environments with you as well, specifically with this piece. And it's, learning new techniques and sounds and getting a fresh perspective musically is always a lot of fun for me. And it was such an honor to be working with you. So yeah, I'll definitely keep in touch, and I'll send you the piece when it's done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.